Oh, good, you're here. Come on. This is the centre of performance. Whenever there's a top performance in New Zealand, it all comes from here. That's Lisa Carrington. She's been doing that for days. That's the boy who got the hole-in-one in Tokyo. Oh, he did it again. Hey, Finn, how's the performance going?
Top tier.
Nice. This is our Generate room. In here, you'll find our top performers helping Kiwis maximise their KiwiSaver investments. Get in here, Finn. Maximise.
Right,
Generate. Putting performance first.
Nico Porteous, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Mate,
it's cool.
This is an honour. This has been years in the... I went back through our DMs. It's been years in the making. We've been going backwards and forwards for a couple of years on this.
Yeah, it's been, well, I guess, a long time. But yeah, found the time and sort of figured that in previous time I didn't really think that I had much to talk about. Like I was in the middle of my career and yeah, I don't know, was sort of still making the memories and the experiences. And now, with recent decisions, I feel like it was right to come on and talk. Yeah.
You haven't done a lot, eh? I think, maybe 2 or 3 long-form podcasts that you've done previously, and that's maybe the extent of it?
Yeah. And as we were talking about a second ago, it's very... I haven't done a lot, and I kind of shy away from them. In a way, part of it was that I didn't really think I had much to talk about other than competition and that sort of thing. And another thing was that I actually didn't really I don't really trust opening up fully to like the long format of talking. I find that when you're in it through competition and you're doing media around comps, you get very good at answering the same question over and over again, or the same types of questions. And so I think, part of it is being scared to branch out and actually talk in depth about these things rather than just one sentence answers and that sort of thing. So yeah, I thought I'd trust you. So
Well, thank you. That's a huge compliment. Yeah, it's sort of getting out of your comfort zone in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Which seems baffling to me because I've watched so many videos of you in the last week, knowing that you're coming in today. And I couldn't think of many things more terrifying than what you've done over the last 10 years.
Oh, I don't know. It's all
dropping into one of those half pipes. Fuck me.
Yeah. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. But in saying that, it's like I haven't done many podcasts, so I'm scared to do this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I've been skiing half pipe since I was 8. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it's equivalent, and yeah, definitely look at it that way.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. That's really kind. I think, have we only met the one time before?
Yeah, I think it might have been once.
I think you came onto our radio show
yeah,
on the Edge. How old were you at the time?
Yeah, 16. 16. Yeah, it would have been after I was with Zoe. Was it Zoe and I?
No, I think it was with
just me?
Josie Wells.
Oh, okay, true. Okay, so it was just...
You were a kid, maybe 13,
maybe
12?
I was younger. Maybe I would have been 14, because I remember around the Winter Games back in, it would have been, 2015, we would have done Winter Games NZ media tour. And it was sort of like Jossie and myself on this media tour around Auckland. And that was sort of the first time that I'd seen media or been, on the radio shows and that sort of thing. And so I think that was the first and only time we've met. So, yeah, long time, eh?
You were a kid then. Now you're a man. But you're still very, very young. And there's so much to get into.
Still a kid.
So Nico Porteous, 2 Olympic medals, 2 X Game gold medals, 5 World Championships, and 5 World Cup medals. Also, New Zealand Order of Merit for services to snow sports, and Halberg Sportsman of the Year in 2022. Yeah, and that's sort of just scraping the surface, really, of the achievements.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's not very often that you hear it read out, and so that's kind of brings a few memories flooding back, and a sense of pride, to be honest.
Yeah, so you messaged me out of the blue on Instagram maybe a month ago saying, hey, I'm coming up to Auckland, you want to do a podcast? I was like, fuck yeah, I do. Yeah. And it was in this message that you told me you were retiring. You hadn't announced it yet. So what does retirement mean exactly? Yeah, I mean, it's not normal retirement. And I think retirement is the right word, but it's also not how I'm looking at it personally. I think, I just thought that, I thought I'd message you and come on and talk about it. I thought it was a cool story to tell because last year in August of last year, I made the decision to step back from competitive skiing. And so that's sort of why I wasn't really calling it retiring, was because by no means am I stopping skiing at a high level. I'm still working hard to be the best skier that I can be. But I just been in the competitive environment since I was 10 years old and following the World Cup circuit since I was 14. Since I was old enough to drop into a World Cup, I was following that circuit around the world, which was incredible. And it was, such an amazing period of my life. But I just thought that,
I guess I just kind of lost that little competitive edge in a way and decided that it was time to step back and move on to new things in my life.
Yeah, 'cause that highlights reel that I mentioned a second ago, all that success comes at a huge cost. So what's the price been that you've had to pay?
Yeah, I think it does come with a big cost, but it also comes with a lot of reward. But I think the cost for me was that one my body's a little bit sore, and only being 23 is kind of like, having sore knees when you wake up in the morning, that's pretty hard. And and then I think that the hardest thing was missing out on that normal adolescence growing up. Like I was, and it's sort of hard to talk about because I was like, had these amazing opportunities that any other person that was in that age would be like, oh my goodness. And so was I. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm traveling the world and I'm able to do what I love, and that's skiing. But at the same time, when things got tough, I was always thinking, oh man, it would be fun to go to school and hang out with my friends every day that were my age, or it would be fun to go to this party on the weekend and chase girls with my mates, you know what I mean? Like, or, it'd be fun to go for a skate then, or go surfing with them. And so that side of things I did miss out on, but at the same time, it was like I was doing, so I had so many amazing opportunities and was around so many incredible people that looking back on it, I still wouldn't change it. Like I still wouldn't change missing out on that part of it. Yeah,
it's a FOMO thing. It makes sense.
It is.
It makes perfect sense. I'm not surprised by that answer. I actually had written down here in brackets school balls.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
example.
Exactly. I've never been to a prom or a school ball. There's like a number of things that I just never went to.
Yeah, and all the stuff is sort of a rite of passage.
Yeah, it is in a way. Yeah, and I didn't get to experience that. Yeah.
How much thought went into the retirement?
A lot, and it was sort of ticking away in the background for a while, but maybe I was too scared to actually recognise that was how I was feeling. And so, like I said, I made the decision in August last year. I didn't want to announce it. There was people around me asking me when I was going to do the announcement and when I was going to talk to the media and that sort of thing. And I just said, look, I'm just going to hold off, because making that decision being so young, it's not really something that I want to say, oh, I'm retired. And then 2 years later I come back, going, oh, psych, I'm not retired. Like I'm back, And so I think, by actually taking time to sit on it, and sort of make sure that I was comfortable with the decision and that it was the right decision was really key for me.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of names here: Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Tom Brady, Floyd Mayweather, Michael Schumacher, Martina Hingis. You wouldn't be the first person that retires and then goes, psych.
Yeah.
But definitely, absolutely, unequivocally, no return?
No. And I think that's like, I'm not going to return. And that's why I took that time before I announced it and before I talked about it publicly, and was that it make sure that it's really what I wanted to. And look, the past year has been really tough. Like it's been.
How so?
Well, just like I'm 23 and I was at the top of my game, and I decided it wasn't I decided to end it in the competitive side of things, and that was like, I don't know, there was times where it's like, oh my goodness, is this the right decision? And there was times, there's been really hard times throughout the past year where I felt lost and I haven't really felt like I had a full direction. And I feel as if I'm coming to the end of that now, and I have a really starting to formulate a really solid plan in my head of where I want to go and what I want to do. And I guess that was sort of the joy of it, was that being so young, it's sort of like starting your life all over again, because competitive skiing is all that you've known. And whereas all your friends are graduating university, they're moving into jobs, and it's like, well, I'm just sort of winding it back, and now I'm just starting that journey, And so, it's been a interesting year, but something that I made the decision because I wanted a challenge and I wanted to switch it up, and that's exactly what has happened.
And you got so much time as well, so much time. I had Anna Mowbray on the podcast. She's an entrepreneur. Her and her brother set up this toy company called Zuru.
Oh, yeah.
She sold out of that. She's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Now she set up a new job recruitment app company, and I asked her about that, and she said Zuru was a mountain, but there's more mountains that she wants to climb.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not an entrepreneur, but it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it is, and I mean, it's not the same, but I'm not starting a multi-billion-dollar business. But I like challenging myself, and I like achieving goals that I, were maybe, like a big reach, and that's something I really, really chase. I guess, is that challenge.
Your brother Miguel, a couple of years older than you, he retired about the same age. Did that play a part in it? Like, did you have conversations with him about how retirement looked?
Definitely talk to him about it. I mean, he, in my eyes, I don't think he's ever been happier in the place that he's in right now. And he's just absolutely thrived in this life outside of skiing. He still loves skiing and he doesn't resent it. But yeah, just talking to him, I mean, he's my biggest role model. Like, he's the biggest. My family in general are the ones that, give me the most advice, and it's the advice that I take the most seriously. And so there was a lot of talking with Miguel throughout that process and of making that decision. And look, he just backed me, and it was just like, look, you've had an amazing competitive career, and go and ski and film and enjoy it. And then, I know, being your brother, I know that you will work hard in whatever you do, and you'll back yourself, which is cool. So
yeah, one thing I found from doing this podcast is there's generally not something like a one-trick pony. Like, if you're successful at something, you're going to be successful at something else you apply yourself to.
Yeah, and I think that might be because of, I mean, you're the same with radio and podcasts. It's obviously
transferable skills.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's also different, and I think that's and it's something that I think you, from building something up or from achieving something, you learn to overcome challenge and to work hard, or and how you face those obstacles that come at you every day. And so I think that sort of allows you to take those skills into other areas and work on them. And so
yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to like work ethic as well.
Yeah,
you just going to apply yourself to whatever you do. What are you going to miss the most and the least?
You know what I'm actually going to miss the most, and it's something that is not, isn't really talked about that much when athletes retire, and athletes that have had successes, that, especially in our sport, and something that I missed the most in the past year, is the external gratification. And I know that sounds really like odd and like, I guess, I don't know, just really odd. But it's, when you do well, you have a score telling you that you've done well. You have people at the bottom telling you that you've done well. You post your run on social media. Social media tells you you've done well. And your coach is telling, well, sometimes, depending on the day, but and you have all this external, you've done well, you're great, you're amazing, and then you stand on top of the podium at the end of the day and hold up a check, and it's like, yeah, this is awesome, and that's something that I'm so glad I ditched, and so glad that that's not a thing that I have anymore, because it's forced me, whether I like it, I like it sometimes and I absolutely hate it other times, but it's forced me to start to just really enjoy what I do, and regardless of the outcome, regardless of the external side of it. And yeah, that's been a learning process.
I think most people would think that's what you want, that external gratification. But it's like you're in an unusual position where you've reached it and you've experienced it, and you know that it's not bringing you the joy anymore that it should do. Yeah,
and I think it's, I don't know, that external gratification is such a weird thing because it's it's really nice in the moment and it's amazing, but at the same time, it's like, it's so, I guess, superficial in a way. Like it's
an unhealthy addiction.
It is an unhealthy addiction, and I think a lot of athletes actually have that addiction and are scared to let go of it. And
understandable.
Yeah.
Has the sport been good to you financially?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I've had, and I still have some amazing partners and sponsors that support me throughout the whole thing. And yeah, they've been incredible in supporting me. So, yeah.
So, the next Olympics, where you're the reigning champion, is 2026 next year.
Yeah.
So you decided last August to retire. Was that looming over you a little bit? The Olympics or the thought of the
Yeah, a little
Olympics?
bit.
Or?
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, it was. I haven't really thought about this in a long time. Sorry, Dom. So, yeah, it was looming over me, and it was sort of like, the build up to 2022 was so gnarly. Like it was ruthless. I was putting so much pressure on myself, but also telling myself that I didn't have any pressure on me. And, being 16 and winning bronze in Korea, and then 4 years later going into China as world number one, and, sort of expected to win gold and a favourite, it was a pressure cooker. Like it was hectic. And those 2 weeks sort of in the build up to the Olympics, or no, sorry, longer than that, the 2 months in the build up to the Olympics were just, oh my goodness, I don't want to live through that ever again. Like never again. That was hectic. So yes, 2026 was weighing on my mind, but it was also not a major factor into why I made the call. Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, we're going to get into both the Olympic campaigns later on, but I might as well bring this up now. Just an observation from, I don't know when the last time you've watched your runs from those two Olympics, or if you ever have at all. But when you won the bronze in 2018?
2018.
Yeah. You were ecstatic. You were over the moon. Yeah. 2022, you won gold. It was like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Was it just relief?
No. And that's the thing is that, I think 2018 was crazy because it was so like I was just skiing on fire. Like I'd never skied that good in my life. And it happened to be in an Olympic final. And I didn't expect to get that score. I'd never really had that good a score in a World Cup. And it was, it was just, everything was just so crazy that day. Whereas 2022 was sort of like, it was a bit of a battle. Like I came into it knowing that there was some pressure on my shoulders, and there was some pressure. And woke up and it wasn't super good weather, and the conditions maybe weren't perfect, and so the reason why I didn't give a reaction on that winning run was that I still had 2 runs to go. So I didn't know, there was still, everyone still had 2 runs left, and so I didn't know that was going to be the winning run. If I'd known, I would have been like, oh my goodness, thank goodness that's over, wow, that's amazing. But I was still so focused and so locked in because I still had 2/3 of a competition to go. And I was like, oh, here we go. Like now, I've done this run that's really hard, and I'm like scared and standing at the top, and I've done it. But now I have to go and do more because in case someone else comes down and betters that, so it's like...
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I wondered if it was because in the first one when you won the bronze, you were a long shot or an underdog.
Yeah.
And in the second one, there was the level of expectation that you were going to perform well, so it was more a feeling of relief.
Yeah.
But no, it was just that you had 2 more runs.
Yeah, it's just that I was still locked in. Yeah. But at the end, I can tell you what, there was a big relief.
Yeah. How good.
Yeah.
This question might be a bit weird. I'm probably projecting here. This is just putting myself in your position. But is does part of you worry that there's going to be? I mean, you've done so much at such a young age. Are you worried that nothing else in life is going to bring you the same sort of level of enjoyment or fun or excitement?
Look, I think. We're talking about the external gratification thing before. And I think that contributes to that thing of excitement and that peak moment of joy. And I kind of know that there'll be nothing like that again in my life. I think, I don't know, maybe the things that would come close to that would be the birth of a child or like marriage or, those big moments in life. For you personally, I think those will definitely come close, or if not, be way better. But that's kind of the point of it, is that I wanted to not have that, because that's totally not normal. Like it feels amazing and it's awesome, but that's not normal at all, and that's not going to be forever. That's going to stop at a certain point in time, especially at our sport where your body only has a certain length of time, and so. I don't know.
Shit, you're wise beyond you. I suppose just doing this for such a long time has forced you to grow up, hey?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I mean, I've winding it back, further to what we talked about at the start about missing that sort of adolescence growing up. I was surrounded by people that were more often than not double my age. My group of friends that I would socialise with on a daily basis skiing up on the mountain was, they were anywhere from 17 all the way through to 26, 27, and I was 12. So I was kind of forced to grow up in a way because although I was always the young, grommet of the group and the young one and the baby, but yeah, I was sort of forced to grow up and had really good role models around me throughout that time. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure everyone was really, really nice to you and treated you like the age you were, but you must have still been exposed to some ruthless conversations that no kid deserves to be.
There was some ruthless chat, eh? And there was some, I've always really had to watch my mouth, my foul mouth, and I think there's actually a really, really funny, when I got sponsored by Red Bull the first time, I received the helmet, turned around and didn't realise that the news cameras were there, and I said, "Oh, F off." And I was this little 13-year-old kid with braces and just holding up this Red Bull helmet, just got sponsored, and here I was swearing and so I think, that sort of stuff I was definitely exposed to from a young age. And,
that's so cool though. That's just raw excitement, hey?
Yeah.
Did your mum or dad tell you off for that?
Nah. No. It was that's not my fault. I didn't know the news was going to be there. It was just my pure reaction. But there was some funny things. I remember going up the mountain some days and having to go wake up the people that we were taking up. I'd be 12 or 13 sitting in the back of the car, maybe even younger, and we'd have to go to someone's house, wake up that person because they were drunk from the night before, and then drive them up the hill. Or we'd go and pick someone up from a hotel in town because he didn't make it home and slept on the couch. And would go up skiing. These are things that I was just exposed to as a young kid, and they weren't in a bad way. They were just these people were amazing people, but yeah, it was just funny being exposed to that. I think as a 12 and 13-year-old. Yeah. Well,
if you're hanging out with adults, you're going to see adult things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, let's go all the way back. So you're born in Hamilton in 2001.
Yep.
Yeah. What are your earliest memories?
Oh, my earliest memories. That's a crazy question. So I was born in Hamilton, 2001, and then sort of 6 weeks after I was born, we moved down to Christchurch. And I think some of my earliest memories would be from around Christchurch. Just whether it was playing outside. I think that my earliest memories would just be playing with my brother Miguel. I think one of my early memories was. Yeah, probably just playing with Miguel, being outside on the skateboards or on the trampoline, or him throwing me around on the trampoline, or I don't know, or stand here, Nico, and let me throw this at you, just classic older younger brother stuff. Yeah.
So what's the age gap? 2 years or something?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah. It's quite funny, hey? It's often a predictor of success if you've got an older sibling, because the competition level that you've got is so much higher. You're playing with older kids all through your childhood.
Yeah.
They're setting the bar for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very lucky to have that, and very lucky to have such a cool brother. And he just led the way. He was the one that got me into freestyle skiing, and sort of just fell into it and followed him because he was such a role model and such a leader for me. And we were lucky that the place we lived in Christchurch, we actually had neighbours that had two boys that were the same age. So it's just Miguel and I, and then it was, two brothers next door, and we would just cause mischief on the street. They would jump the fence and come hang out with us, and we would jump the fence and go hang out with them, and it was just epic. And so just being around that, having the older brothers and following them, and and also just having friends to play with from a young age was really cool.
Yeah, quite a tight family unit, the Porteous family. It's just the two brothers and mum and dad. Your parents still together?
Yep.
And from what I can gather, I'm not sure what your dad did for a job, but he spent time in the UK working for Peugeot.
Yeah. Wow, you have done deep research, haven't you? So mum and dad are still together. They're, like they're just mum and dad. They're awesome. And so we lived in the UK for, I think it was like 6 weeks. 6 months we did in the UK. And Dad was working at the Peugeot factory in health and safety. So he's a doctor and studied as a doctor. And then, he left Peugeot and we decided that we wanted to, I think our visas still had extra time or something. And we decided that we wanted to stay on and in France, go to France for the winter. And because Mum and Dad and Miguel at the time were keen skiers and I was 4 and hadn't skied yet. But we went to France in this little French village in the Alps called Bourg Saint-Maurice, and Mum and Dad rented a basement 1-bedroom apartment off of a family. Sorry, excuse me. And they rented that apartment, and all four of us slept in that little shoebox apartment, and we did 6 weeks skiing.
Do you remember that at all? Or
I do. I do actually. Yeah, I do. And I went back there, a year ago now. A year ago, and saw where it all started. And I remember being, waking up and opening the door and there being snow outside, and I wasn't allowed to go skiing because I wasn't very good at stopping. And so I got Dad told Mum that we can't have Nico coming with us. He's just out of control. And so he made me stay at home and practice my pizzas. So I stayed home with Mum and practiced my pizzas, and I got a gold star on my skis every time I nailed it. And then I specifically remember making chocolate cake after that. And and then being able to go skiing the next day with Dad and Mum and the family. So.
Oh yeah, I heard a story about that. So this is called snowplow or pizza wedge, whatever. But your mum called it chocolate cake?
Yeah, that's right. That's weird that you... Oh, yeah. Yeah, she called it chocolate cake. That's right.
Get out, I'll finish off the Nico Porteous story.
Yeah. She did call it chocolate... That's funny, yeah. She called it chocolate cake, and that was what made sense to me as a child, yeah. And so, and then we did that 6 weeks and then moved back to Christchurch.
When were you in Perth? You were in Perth for a while.
And then I was in Perth, So
Christchurch, back to
Christchurch, and we lived in Christchurch until I was 9. And then when I was 9, Dad got a job over in the mines, working in Western Australia, and so that meant that we were to relocate to Perth, and Dad would commute and do FIFO work out of northern Western Australia, and we would live in Perth. Around that time, skiing was really starting to ramp up, and so we would live in Perth for I want to say 12 weeks of the year, maybe 2 school terms, and then we'd go and do the New Zealand winter in Wanaka. In this tiny little hotel, and it was Mum, Miguel, and myself, and we were on bunk beds, and Mum was on a double bed, and we'd see Dad every 6 weeks. He'd come over, and so we did that, and then we'd go over to the Northern Hemisphere for 6 weeks as well at that time, and the same, Dad would come over for a week, and so the family was pretty disjointed throughout that time, and it was, they made a decision, and Mum and Dad to support Miguel and I in skiing, and that was something that had just started, and something that really really wanted to chase, and so that involved. Dad working, and I was seeing him every 5 or 6 weeks throughout that period, so that, Mum and Dad didn't want to send us away as 2 young kids, and they wanted Mum to be there because we were in school and stuff like that, and so, Oh,
so that was why they basically did that, because you had 2 kids that were really good at skiing, and they wanted you to pursue your dreams.
Yeah, exactly, and they said, well, let's give them the opportunity, on which I'm incredibly thankful that they did, and they worked their ass off. Mum was teaching us, and looking after a 10 and 12-year-old that were going skiing all day and then coming home and having to do schoolwork, and then she'd cook us dinner. Meanwhile, Dad was, in Aussie working and wouldn't see his family for, so it was the amount of sacrifices that those 2, Mum and Dad, made in order for Miguel and I to ski was incredible, and that's something that I'm so grateful for and thankful for.
Yeah, and it seems like there's more chance it's not going to work out than it working out.
It is. It is. And you never know. I mean, putting a 10-year-old and 12-year-old through international skiing, you don't know that it's going to work out. You know what I mean?
No, there's more chance of it not.
Yeah, exactly. And there is. And that's, they supported us through anything as long as we gave it our all and we tried our best, and we didn't waste an opportunity that they were giving us, and then they would support us the whole way through. And so
they never had to push you guys?
Oh, there was definitely times where they were like, "Oh, come on, like you should, like go skiing today, or you got to do schoolwork there," or but there was never any forcing or any negative. It was never negative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's parallels there with Taylor Swift. Like her family moved to. I've never heard that. Her family moved all the way to Nashville just to pursue her dream. And again, it's the same sort of thing. It's like a massive sacrifice from the whole family.
Yeah, God.
For this shot at a dream. And there's for every Taylor Swift or Nico Porteous, there's hundreds of thousands of others that don't reach that level.
It's incredible, the sacrifice that parents make in order to give their kids an opportunity is, and it's something that I really want to give my kids is that opportunity. And and it's very, very lucky and thankful.
With you guys, you and your brother, how much of it was natural talent versus hard work?
I think there was a lot of. For me, there was natural talent, and for Miguel, there maybe wasn't as much natural talent. We were still very much both naturally talented. And I think this is, and I always had people around me that were working their ass off. Miguel was my dad was a hard worker. Miguel was a hard worker. My mum's a hard worker. And so naturally, even though maybe I had that little bit of extra talent and I would pick up things faster, I was just always surrounded by hard workers. And so that was just normal for me, was to work hard. And so we worked hard together and as a unit, and that was a really, really cool environment to be in.
Natural talent's only going to get you so far, right?
Yeah, it is.
If you've got someone that's got natural talent and they put in the work,
they're
going to be unstoppable most of the time.
And that's something. I don't know, that was pretty cool.
So the decision to turn pro, when was that, like 10 or 11?
The decision to chase the professional skiing was around 10. And then I would say that I turned professional when I was probably 14.
Right.
Yeah. And there was no real decision. It was just more like things are getting better and better and better. And Miguel and I are achieving results, and we're moving forward. And so I guess, from mum and dad's perspective, you're not really going to pull a kid out if he's working hard and he's driven in what he's doing and he's keeping on moving up and getting better in what he does. And you're not really going to pull the carpet from underneath that person most of the time. And so,
Yeah, but a lot of parents, they'll be like, okay, well, as responsible parents, we need you to finish school. When you get to 15, 16, whatever, then you can make your own decision. I can't imagine the discussions they had. Letting you guys homeschool.
There was actually there was one of the headmaster at our school in Australia. He then moved on to become, he was, I don't know if he still is, but he was the headmaster at Christ College down in Christchurch, and I forget his name, but he gave mum, his daughter was pursuing an athlete, I can't remember what, but he knew that Miguel and I were away skiing, obviously from our attendance record at school.
And got the goggle marks on your face.
Yeah, when we came back looking like pandas in Australia. So he knew that that something was up, and he knew that we were chasing our dreams. And I think he said to mum, don't worry about school, just focus on maths and English. Focus on sport because it's one shot and it's one opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of that, then, you can always come back to school, and I'm not saying that school, focus on the basics, maths, English, get really good at that, do what you have to do, but just give skiing and give sport the biggest shot that you can. And I think that was, I don't know, mum even brings it up to this day. It's like, that was so, I think she really took that advice on board and, made it happen.
Do you remember your last proper day of school or anything? What was it, like third form or year?
I think my last day of school was probably when I was 14.
Right.
I think it was year 9. That would be 14, year 9, I think. So, but I don't really remember it as being the last day of school. I just didn't go back to, well, I just stayed homeschool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was homeschooling like?
Hard.
Yeah? In what way?
I found it really hard. Because you go skiing all day and then you'd come home and you'd have to do school and, trying to focus on school when you've put all your energy and everything you do into skiing that day it's an uphill battle, but I was so lucky to have Mum there. Like, she's such a good teacher. And
oh, was she doing the teaching?
she was teaching Miguel and I, yeah. And so she would actually study throughout the later years when Miguel was in year 13 and stuff like that. She would study ahead of time and refresh herself on, the maths and science and English on the curriculum so that she could teach us. Like, it was incredible, yeah. And so it was really hard, but she got us through it, which was cool.
I can tell how grateful you are. Yeah, fuck. I'm just thinking, like, I remember meeting you when you were 13, 14, whatever it was, and you came to the radio studio. And then, there's still young man sitting in front of me now. You're impeccably well-mannered, eh? And you always have been.
Thank you.
Never been an asshole.
I hope not. I think that's like...
Well raised. Your parents must be incredibly proud.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're incredible people, and they're like... My family is the biggest role models in my life. And, that's really, really cool. So thank you. Yeah.
And when did you team up with Tommy Pyatt?
Yeah, Tommy.
He's your coach, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So the last year of my career, he wasn't coaching me, but he coached me from the age of, I think it was, we actually had our first day coaching when I was 6. So Mum and Dad, we would go down to Wanaka for a week of training prior to the Junior Nationals of free skiing in New Zealand, down at Cadrona. And for that week, we got freestyle lessons from someone, and Mum chose this guy on the website and was like, right, can you do a lesson with my 2 boys? And that guy that she chose was Tommy. And so from that day, it became more and more frequent, and, he was with us more and more. And then it got to the point where he was traveling with us, and then it got to the point that he was taking us on trips without Mum there. And then all of a sudden I'm standing next to him, giving him a hug before I drop into my Olympic final. And it's like, like...
What is life?
Yeah. And it was crazy. It's like he's family. He's part of the family. And, I would literally call him an uncle. And, it was pretty incredible to have a 15-year bond with someone like that. And especially to grow up with someone like him around me was very cool and pretty special, to be honest.
What a ride. What a ride. You said you split up a year ago. Was that just when you decided to retire? Yeah,
we split up, when was it? It was the year after the 2022 Olympics. You may or may not have noticed, but China has made a huge push in action sports. And the Chinese national team actually scouted him. Made him an offer that he couldn't refuse, and look, we just supported him through that. He was so nervous to tell us, that this 15-year relationship had come to an end, but at the same time, it was like you got to go and you got to go and chase your dreams, and you got to go and do this. It's like if I didn't accept that, well then who am I? Because you've given up so much of your time and life to come and focus on me, helping me achieve my dream. That how could I say no to that? And so he left, and then I went off and filmed for a year and didn't compete, and then came back and actually had Byron Wells as a coach for the last year of my competitive career, which was pretty special, having someone that had sort of paved the way within New Zealand for halfpipe skiing, coaching me. And so that was really cool. So huge thank you to both of them, because they gave up so much.
Yeah, what a relationship. So losing Tommy's got nothing to do with you.
No.
Let's relieve him from that guilt.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was sorry, Tommy. He was actually nervous that, when he did tell me that he was stepping away, he was like, well, don't go stopping, or don't go do this. And even back then he probably had a slight inkling that he knew that was what I was going to do. You know what I mean? Like eventually. And so that's why he said it. And, no, but it had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Fuck, what a ride together.
Yeah, crazy ride.
Incredible.
Yeah. I don't think, there's been, not every athlete has that relationship with a coach. And I think what was really special about that was, all the highs and lows and the wins and the losses and just everything we went to together. But like spending that time, because he was learning, I was learning, like he didn't have experience. He had never stood at the top of X Games or Olympics, you know what I mean? And neither had I. And so we were fully in this ride together, which I think was something that both of us will never forget.
That's special. Yeah, it's a bond that can never be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is.
And Dave Collins, your sports psychologist.
Yeah. Legend.
He's another big cog in the wheel, part of the Porteous team.
Yeah.
When did you first engage with the sports psych?
When I was, the first time I engaged with the sports psych, this is actually interesting, I was 10. Like, that's crazy that I had a sports psychologist at 10, but I'm a piece of work. No. From a young age, I've been a piece of work. No, but I was 10 and I was up skiing at Cadrona, and I was really, really overcoming this. I was struggling to overcome this mental block of doing an unnatural 720, so a backflip 360 pretty much. And I was having this mental block, and it got so big that I went down to the car, was in tears, was just about to call it quits, and was just like sitting there going, do I really want to go ski, or do I just want to go to high school and be normal? And throughout that time and the weeks after, I wasn't really sure, and I was, really scared of this trick. And then I got put in touch with Dave Collins, and he talked to me about, the basic fundamentals of being an athlete and being a skier. And I was told that having a sports psychologist or a psychologist doesn't mean they're just going to wave a magic wand in one session and everything's going to be back to normal. It's a journey that you have to buy into, and you have to be willing to engage in. And that's another relationship that I have outside of my family. Is I still work with them to this day.
He must have been he must have had a really good communication style to be able to communicate with a 10-year-old.
I don't know, he's just a legend.
Yeah.
He's an absolute he's an incredible person. He was I really don't want to mess this up, but he was I think it was Royal Marines and did a very high number of missions with the Royal Marines in the UK, and is a very, very respected sports psychologist. And I think I was just insanely lucky to be able to work with someone like that, and that was through the help of High Performance Sport and Snow Sports New Zealand. And so them allowing me to have access to someone like that was at the age of 10 is that's incredible. That is so cool.
How did that relationship look? How often did you see him? Was it just a case by case? You just jump on a Zoom when needed?
Yeah, it started off pretty mellow. Being a 10-year-old, you don't really have many issues in your life other than you can't do a backflip 360. You know what I mean? You don't call them up going, I'm lying in bed wide awake and I can't sleep because I'm nervous or I feel pressure or something like that. And so, it started off pretty chill, and then at a certain point in time, there was definitely a fortnightly catch up that was happening, or he would come on intensive blocks and I'd see him every day for a week and we'd work on stuff, or and then towards the back end, tailored off a little bit when things were going well and I was winning a lot. Then it sort of started to tailor off a little bit, and it would be once every couple of months just to check in how things are going. And then he's really been a big part of this last sort of year, and throughout the last sort of 2 years, he's been really incredible.
So he'll still be part of your life now, or
yeah. I'm still working with him, and still talk to him every now and again, and just check in, because it's sort of been one of the more challenging times of my life, to be honest, in the past year. And to have someone like him that has seen me grow throughout the whole process and has been there for everything and sort of seen the inner workings of my head, then he's one of the best people being in the position that I have been in to give me good advice.
Why has it been so challenging? Just letting go of part of your identity?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's stepping into unknown has really made it challenging. Like I said earlier, it was my decision to step into the unknown, and being comfortable with that, and understanding, the things that are going to go away and the things that are going to stay and the things that are going to get better and the things that are going to get worse, and understanding it actually in depth what it means to step away and to make that decision. And so, he was really, really helpful.
Do you find some of the lessons and some of the tools and stuff you've got from him, they are applicable in day-to-day life?
Oh yeah. They and a lot of the time, and to be honest, that's a kind of a tricky question to answer because I feel like I'm so like it's so ingrained in me that I wouldn't actually know. I wouldn't be able to tell you the parts that he has.
Yeah.
And the skills that he has given me, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the biggest things that he did tell me was, and something that I find comfort in, is that don't be worried about being worried. Like you can be worried about something and that's totally normal and it's okay, but don't worry about feeling like that. Like don't be stressed about being stressed, and just understand and trust that you're stressed or you're worried and that you can't do anything about that. And all of the time it's for a reason, whether that's you have something crazy going on in your life or upcoming, or you maybe haven't had enough sleep in the past 4 nights. These things sort of lead to, and it's don't make that situation worse. And that's something that he, that's one of his biggest things that I've taken away.
Yeah, because one thing I've learned about you while researching for this in the past week is just crippling anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Like terrible nerves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gnarly.
Have they subsided, or do they just, as you keep trying to raise the bar, does it just remain because you're constantly pushing?
They come and go. They come and go. They definitely have. I've developed skills that help me deal with them. But sometimes it'll just come on, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, like I'm nervous. Like why am I nervous right now? And then I just will revert back to breath, or I'll start thinking about certain things, or. Yeah, I don't know. I just use that technique to help overcome that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay. I've done almost 250 podcast episodes. This is the first Winter Olympian I've ever had on.
Yeah, cool.
So, awesome. What are they like? I've had so many Summer Olympians on.
Yeah.
But the Winter Olympics, the village, are there perks? Is there free McDonald's? Is there a massive food court?
Yeah, that stuff's good fun.
Is everyone going around shagging each other like the Summer Olympics?
Kind of, to be honest. It's I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, China was a different story because it was COVID and it's China, so it's a little bit a little bit crazy to begin with. And then Korea, when I was 16, was crazy. That was sick. It was so cool and such a cool experience. And they just, the same as the summer, I think, and they just build apartment blocks, and we were living in an apartment, and just Miguel and I were sharing a room, which is sharing a room with your brother at the Olympics is pretty special. Not everyone gets to do that. And so having him there was really cool. And and then, the New Zealand team at the time was really young, and that was really, really special. But there was McDonald's, and there was a dentist surgery, and you get full dental work and haircuts and, phones and just all sorts of stuff. And then Red Bull had a nightclub. Red Bull had a pop-up nightclub that they had going there for a while. And so when you got a medal, you would go and celebrate at the Red Bull nightclub, and you'd walk in and, there's videos. Yeah, there was just good times. We'd walk in and there'd be a bottle of Grey Goose and surrounded by Red Bull and Red Bull vodkas, and you just have all your best friends around you at the Olympics. And it's that was, maybe not what a 16-year-old should be doing, but it's sort of come on, that's a once in a lifetime thing, and that was really, special.
Amazing. Oh, were you on the Grey Goose at 16 after the Olympics?
No,
of course not. Okay. This might seem like an odd question. I don't even know if this is a discussion you've had, but so you're both, your brother and yourself, ridiculously successful. As you said, sharing an apartment together at the Olympics. But your level of success has been a step higher than him, I suppose, in terms of the visible awards. The Halberg Award, Sportsman of the Year, the medals. Has it been hard on him? I know he's super proud.
And I don't actually know, because he, even if it was hard, he would never, he's that type of person that he would never express that to me, and he would never let me know that. And the only emotion that he would show towards me would be being proud. Yeah, and having that pride. And I think, I was I mean, that's some character to do that. When there would be some times where, he would crash and, well, like at the first Olympics, he was like skiing the best he ever had in the build up to it, and then he crashed both his runs in qualifying and didn't make finals. And that was like, like he'd made finals at every event that season. It was sort of like, whoa. And then his younger brother that had only just come onto the scene landed a run in qualifying and made finals and then went on to win bronze. It's like that for anybody can't, that can't not be hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I know that he is an incredible person, has an incredibly strong character that he would never show that to me. Yeah. He would only just be proud of me and supportive of that in that situation. And same goes the other way, is that I was always proud of him. And in fact, one of my favorite 2 moments of my career was the first one being when he won X Games silver. I think that was the year before 2017, he won X Games silver, and that was like, oh my goodness, like we've achieved. It felt like we have achieved this goal, like Miguel, and that's my brother. He's standing on the X Games podium, like this is crazy. We've been together doing this from such a young age, and it's like we have achieved this together. And then, I remember just standing, looking at him on the podium, and just like being, total disbelief that this was happening in front of me. And the second moment was not the winning at the 2022 Olympics. It wasn't standing on the podium. It was the first person that I got to see at the bottom of that event when I'd found out everything was happening and, and the result and stuff like that was my brother. The first person I got to say something to and hear something from was Miguel. And that was us hugging each other and him going, fuck yeah, like congrats, you know what I mean? And it's like
goosebumps.
Yeah, like that, like that's more important than anything else, like, I don't know. And fuck, Miguel's such an incredible person, and I'm so lucky to have him as a brother.
Yeah, so those Olympics, 2018 Pyeongchang, you were aged 16 years 16. And 91 days.
Yeah.
When you won the bronze medal. What was the name of your winning move or moves? And what was it exactly? They all have weird names, eh?
Yeah, the winning manoeuvres, I would say, at 2018 was... What did I do then? I think I did... Yeah, I would say that it was like... I did a double cork 1440 at the top. That was like... What's that? 2 flips and 4 full spins? Yeah. 2 flips, 4 full spins. And then straight into the next hit, did a 900 and... It was just a lot of spinning. It was just and that's the thing is that the judges said to me after is that they were like, because we always go and talk to the judges after an event because, how else do you know what to improve on and how to get better and stuff like that. And they said you had gold medal technicality, but everything else was lacking. And so that's what I went and worked on for the next, 2 years. Well, 4 years, yeah. I kept working the same rate. With the same, pace on the technicality, but really put an emphasis on the other sides of skiing and the judging, and that paid off.
And I think it was this Olympics. I saw an interview with your mum. She talked about how your nerves were so intense, like she stayed up till 4 or 5 in the morning, just like. So were your parents in the apartment with you in the Olympic Village, or just you and your bro?
Yeah, just Miguel and I, and then they're not actually allowed into the village,
right?
And so there was a time at 2018 where it got so intense and I got so, I guess, petrified of where I was and what I was doing that Mum and Dad were hanging out in Seoul at the time. They had an apartment and were sort of just there in case anything went wrong in the build-up and sort of just checking out Korea because, they had this opportunity to come over and, so I hopped on a bullet train and went down and saw them and just completely got out of the Olympic environment. And that was like the biggest thing. That was so good. I just went down with them and just ate food and went and walked around Seoul and just completely forgot about Olympics and
just acted like a normal kid.
Yeah, just acted like a kid on holiday with his parents, and that was like.
Which you were.
Well, yeah, for those fun. Yeah. Like it's it's crazy, and I just I don't know. I'm so the fact that they were like so aware of the situation and I don't know whether I think it was actually DC Dave Collins that gave him that advice, was to just be there and sort of get an apartment out of it, and maybe, give them space to come and check out down and away from the Olympic Village and stuff like that. And yeah, I think I'm so lucky that I had people around me that were that aware and that wise, and to give me that opportunity to do that. Yeah,
Can you remember that? Can you remember staying up all night talking to your mum?
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't just one time. That was a lot. And
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was a lot. And
What are you expressing your nerves about the competition, or are you just talking about anything but?
yeah, it would be. I mean, I would probably start off by talking about the competition, but in saying that, it wasn't actually just competitions that would give me this. It would be trying a new trick the next day. It would be trying a new trick in 2 days' time. It would be the fact that I'm at a training camp in order to learn a new trick, and that trick was stressing me out. So it was like, I'm such a worrier and such a stressful, stress. When I get stressed, and I think the conversations that I had with Mum would start off with talking about the trick and that, and then she would be very good at distracting and moving on to something else. And I'd listen to podcasts, listen to Country Life a lot.
What's Country Life?
The Radio New Zealand Country Life that they do about the farming show.
Oh yeah,
I'd listen to that.
It's so random. Why?
I know, because it would distract me. It would be so nice, because I'd be on the road and it would be sounds of home. You'd hear, they do interviews on the farm, and you'd hear the birds and. It's just relaxing. I know that's so weird, but it was just so soothing. Yeah, and so I would do that. I'd talk to Mum and I'd listen to podcasts, and eventually I'd get to sleep. And sometimes I wouldn't. Yeah, there was one time where I didn't get to sleep, and I just stayed awake all night. And that was actually the night before Olympic qualifying in 2018. I was up all night because I couldn't sleep because I was so nervous. And I spoke to DC and Dave Collins in the morning, and he said, "Look, you know what you got to do. You've practiced it. You've done it. As soon as you get a little bit of adrenaline in your body, you're not going to know that you haven't slept. You're not going to be maybe as sharp as you could be, but you've done all this before. You know what's happening. Just back yourself and trust yourself." And that's something that I've always utilized since then, is knowing that when you do get adrenaline in you, if you trust that adrenaline and you trust your preparation, well, then you know that you can do it.
Yeah, and muscle memory from the thousands of hours of work that went into it. I had Lewis Clarebert, the swimmer, on the podcast. He said a similar sort of thing. Yeah. Like sleepless nights before competition, and then his mental skills coach, or maybe just his coach, said to him, one bad night's sleep's not going to undo. No. It's not going to do fuck all. No,
exactly. And maybe if you're like an archer or something and you get the shakes because, you're tired or something like that. But even then, with the nerves and excitement and adrenaline, you're going to be awake. So... Yeah.
With that in mind, though, with you describing how debilitating it's been, it's a miracle that you've been in the sport for so long.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a lot to go through. Yeah,
no, it is a lot to go through. And I think it's those moments of, those high moments and those moments of success and those, moments of being proud of yourself for achieving something sort of outweigh those harder moments.
Yeah. Was that life-changing? And if so, how?
The
bronze medal in 2018.
Yeah. I mean, personally, no. I don't think it changed who I was personally. Maybe people around me would have a different story, but I don't think so. And so in that way, no, it didn't change my life at all. But in other ways, if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking with you.
On terms of doors that open.
Yeah, doors that open and opportunities and situations that you find yourself in because of these things. And I don't know. It has definitely changed my life. But also at the same time, it hasn't.
The 24 or 48 hours after that, what did that look like? Another couple of nights of no sleep?
Oh, yeah. So the 48 hours after 2018 were crazy, because that was the first time in 26 years or something that New Zealand had won a medal at the Winter Olympics.
Who was it? Was it Annelies Coburger?
Yep. Yeah. In slalom in 1980 or, I don't know, 2018 minus 26, 92 maybe. I don't know. Yeah, sorry for bad math. But so Zoe Sadowski-Synnott won bronze in big air, and also being 16, and then a week later I won bronze in halfpipe, and those were the first two medals in a long time. And so it was a big deal in New Zealand, and we flew home from Korea 24 hours or 48 hours later, and we just went into a 5-day media like circus. It was just every 5 minutes we were on another interview. We had another phone, then we were driving to this studio, then we were doing this, and then we were doing a meet and greet at High Performance Sport, then we were going to Government House, and then we were going on the plane down to Wanaka and having a welcoming and haka at Queenstown Airport, and then onto a parade in Wanaka. It was just like, it was crazy, and that was like such a whirlwind. And so that was the 24 hours after 2018, and then the 24 hours after 2022 were a little bit different because it was COVID, and I knew that the first Olympics really took it out of me, and that really, really wore me down, that period. And it was really, really tough that time. And 2022, I just was like, fuck this, whatever happens, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go and enjoy it, and I'm just gonna hang out with my friends and my brother, and that's what I did. And so it was a bit more chill. Still a lot of media, but
just thinking about those games, all the media and stuff that came afterwards. You've sort of grown up in the public eye. There's been no missteps, though, eh? Especially comparing you to like Justin Bieber. Like, a lot of people that have like fame or profile at a young age, there's usually some pushback at some point.
I've been very lucky to not have any scrutiny like that. I don't know. I guess
I just haven't done anything.
I was
scrutiny.
I think I was just forced to be aware of it from so young. And the last thing that I'd want to do would be to mess up and put a bad name on my parents or my family, and especially because they work so hard for me. They, as mum and dad, work so hard and sacrifice so much to get to me to where I wanted to be, that if I were to go and do something that were, if I were to make a mistake and, stuff up and it be in the media, or make a mistake, and then that would tarnish their name, and that's not something that I ever wanted to do. But
Oh, good on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be easy to have an inflated ego or go through a dickhead phase or something. It feels like you avoided that completely.
Yeah. I think I did. I hope I did.
So far, touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood.
So the 2022 Olympics at Beijing, that's where you won gold. What changed between 2018 and 2022? 4 years older, 4 years more experience. What else?
4 years more pressure, I think.
Way more pressure.
Yeah, way more
target
pressure.
on your back.
Yeah. I had a target on my back in the 2 years in the build-up. From 2020 through to 2021. There were some good results in there. I think 2021 I became world champion and won X Games that year as well. And so I sort of just, I guess I just continued to grow and to get better. And I think luckily I didn't have any major injury at that time. And so I think that was just, it was all this perfect storm that just led up over 4 years. There was obviously hardships in between, and there were really hard times, but for the most part, it was just a perfect storm that led up to the perfect series of events, and that being on the day at the Olympics, I performed when it counted. And I think, I just kept my head down and kept working hard and chasing ambitions that, were big ambitions. I think just having big ambitions and just working for them. Yeah.
In terms of, I think, most New Zealanders, it's quite a niche sport, so we'll see you on TV if you're doing well, every 4 years or whatever it happens to be. Yeah. So we'll see you on, 7 Sharp, Campbell Live, Breakfast, ZB, whatever it happens to be. What don't we see? What is the work that goes into getting to that?
It's the sacrifice, like we talked about. That was obviously a major sacrifice period in my life, and so that's one thing. The physical side of it, you have to be physically conditioned to be at that level. The mental side of things was my biggest challenge personally, was the mental side of things, and learning how to deal with pressure and overcome nerves, and deal with your own problems going on, especially throughout that time when you're 17 through 20. That's God, there's a lot of stuff going on in your head. Your testosterone is peaking. You're like, you know, you don't know really what's going on. You don't know how to control those emotions at all. You like, I think your frontal lobe's not even working at that time.
I'm 52. I think my frontal lobe is still sort of moulding into place.
Yeah, coming into play. But no, like at that time, you're just like, you're so all over the show, like chemically as a person and a young adult. And so I think that combined with everything else going on, like, yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult. But I had, like, you know, as we've talked about, I had an amazing support network around me that helped me, you know, manage that, at least to the point that I could go out and ski how I wanted to ski. And yeah, there was some big learnings throughout that time and some things that definitely led me to being able to formulate a way of thinking and performing that worked for 2022. And that was like, I figured out that I couldn't set result-based goals. So I couldn't be like, oh, I want to go and win this event, or I'm going to go and win the globe this year. It's like, that didn't work for me because I don't know, you can't set a goal of something at the end of the day that you can't control. Like, I couldn't control the final outcome because it's judged by other people. And like, I don't know, anything can happen. They're human. They're not robots. Our sport's judged by humans, and humans make mistakes, and humans, you know, aren't consistent. They try to be, but they're not. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to achieve those goals that were actually not in my control. So I had one year where I had a couple podiums the year before. I think I got my first X Games medal. This was 2019, so it was after the Olympic year, and I set out to go and win the Globe, which was the world title. Like, it was the top of the standing. I guess it would be, yeah, you're like the highest ranking from all the events, and I set out to go and win that. And I had like the worst year. Like, I was like consistently like 10th, 11th, 12th. Just, I went from, you know, being on podiums to then like kooking it. And so I realized that was because I am not very good at being results focused and outcome focused. I was more around the process and being driven by, you know, how can I go through the process in order to achieve the goal, you know, and sort of like substituting them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. In terms of the training and stuff day to day, like to get to that point, you know, to get to the point where you're doing a back-to-back 16-20, so we'll get into that soon. What does training look like? So I suppose it'd be very easy for people to go, oh, yeah, he just skis all day and then goes to the Olympics every 4 years.
Yeah.
But no, it's not the
like
reality
that.
of it.
Yeah, it's not like that. And I think our focus was, when we started getting more into the high end of things, I think it was like very... I guess what's the saying? It's like, rather than doing lots of shit, you do a little bit of great, of perfect. So it's like consistently doing little amounts of really good. And then in the moments that you can do high repetition without having a negative impact on your body or your mental or your, you know, like that side of things, then you do a lot. And so day to day for me would sort of be like, I just go skiing. Oh, well, I say that I just go. Yeah, that's just right. Yeah, you just go skiing. But no, I'd wake up and I'd go up the mountain, and I would either go and work on. I'd go up there with a goal every single day, and I'd make that goal with my coach Tommy in the car on the way up, and we would then talk about a plan on how we were going to achieve that goal that day, and whether that was, okay, you need to go and do 4 of this trick. Then you need to go and do 3 of this trick. Or it might only just be, you need to do 4 of this trick today. Or you need to do 2 of this trick today. And it's like, that's your whole day. And once you achieve that, done. You know, you just go and, you can maybe go and free ski for a little bit if you wanted to, because at the end of the day, I do love skiing and I just love what I do. And so I would just go and ski without a coach, but not drain the energy so that I could come up and do it another 3 again the next day. And so that just kept going and going and progressing. And then, you know, we had the facilities started to get better and better with like the investment from High Performance Sport and Snow Sports. And they supplied us with an airbag setup that we had up Cardrona. And that was a huge part of my training throughout that period. And airbag is like a 20 metre by 20 metre vinyl cushion that is blown up by like industrial fans, and you land on it and it cushions your impact and minimises risks and injury and stuff. And so I would go out. So it's like working, you take off on normal snow and you can do the full trick wearing, you know, your helmet, your goggles, your gloves, your skis, everything normal. But the thing is, you're landing on a big cushion, so it minimises risk. And so I would go up and drill in a certain number of tricks every day. And so that being one of those moments that you can go and do the higher volume and the higher amounts because the risk is less. So it was about managing that risk. And so we'd go up and I'd do, you know, 10 to the left and 10 to the right. You know, this was throughout the 16 process, which I'm sure we'll get to in a second. But I'd just go and get repetition on those. And then, yeah, I don't know. And then maybe in the afternoon I'd work on some technique. And I'd go and maybe just work on my edge control on my skis and then go home. And then maybe 3 days a week or 2 or 3 days a week, I'd go trampolining in the evenings. And so that would be another opportunity where I'd get those high repetition, depending on what I was doing the next day.
Trampolining to practice the somersault tricks that you're going to do.
Yeah,
right.
So I'd go down with my coach, Tommy, and we'd go to the trampoline. And
Not just going to jump world.
No, No. I mean, that would be fun, but no. Yeah, I'd go to a specialised trampoline, another facility that, again, high performance sport and snow sport supplied, and that was a quintessential part of my training. And so, like, I would go and do repetition on that, and then, yeah, I would go to the gym. And I mean, like, listing this out, it sounds like I was doing huge days, but I had a really, really good, as I've mentioned, I had a really good team around me that would help me really manage the load that I was taking on. And so, yeah, I was doing all these things, but, you know, I would go to the gym this day and I wouldn't ski as hard on that day. Or then I would go to the trampoline instead of going to the gym, or I would, you know, and we would just juggle it around and shuffle the schedule. And in a sport like mine that's very weather dependent, you know, you can't go skiing when it's 100k winds and wide out up the mountain. And so then on top of all of that, you have to fit it into the weather schedule. And so if there were 5 good weather days in a row, well, you'd just go ski 5 weather days. You wouldn't go and trampoline. You wouldn't go to the gym. That would be your focus, would be skiing, because the weather's good and you might as well take advantage of that. And so, yeah, that was sort of a long-winded way of explaining, but that's sort of how day-to-day training looked like.
No, it's good to know how much work goes into these things. Yeah, so this gold medal performance in 2022 in Beijing, it was, back-to-back 1620s. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so the back-to-back refers to, in half-pipe, we have a left and right wall. Wall being like, you know, half-pipe looks like a U, and you have 2 sides to a U, left and right. And on the left and right side, you either spin left or you either spin right. And 1620 is 2 flips and 4.5 full spins. And so I did one to the left, and then I think it would be like maybe 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds later, I did one to the right. And so that's the back-to-back part. It's one hit after the other. And that was pretty much like what gave me a lot of my success, was those 2 tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth highlighting, like, tricks aside, that half pipe looks so fucking intimidating.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, for most people like me, it's a monster. Like, most normal people, 99% of the population wouldn't drop in, or wouldn't be able to drop in.
Yeah, and it is terrifying. Like,
is it for you?
Yeah, like, well, okay, maybe not for me, but
bragger.
No, but there'll be moments where I haven't skied it in a long time, and I'll drop in and I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is scary, and I'd have to start small and work my way up and get my confidence back. But it is terrifying. Like, in general, it's bulletproof ice. Like, it is just icy. There's one event at X Games in Aspen that's done at night. The final's done at night, and there's actually times where you can see the lights reflecting in the wall on the half pipe. So it's that icy that it's like forming a mirror. And it is like, you know, if you fall on that, it's sore. It's really sore. And sometimes it can lead to some pretty funny stuff happening, but...
What, like? It doesn't sound very funny.
You just tend to shit yourself quite a lot when you land on your ass because it's so hard.
Literally shit yourself?
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah, like when you land on your ass hard enough, it forces your flatulence to release. And so there was definitely a few moments where there was some muddy undies happening. Yeah.
God.
So yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah. And yeah. Do you want me to go into depth on that or no?
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's pretty funny.
Wow. Wow. And what about injuries and stuff?
Yeah, I was pretty lucky in injuries and touch wood that I didn't have heaps of bad ones. I had the occasional shit myself moment, but and then I mean I had like some minor ones like bruises and slight tweaks of knees and stuff like that, and then I luckily only had one major knee surgery and rupture of my ACL, and that was pretty much the only injuries I really had. And I think that was just because we managed rest so well and managed load and not being, you're not, go. It was go, then rest, then go, then rest. And rest was super key. Yeah.
So going into those Olympics, how do you know you're ready to do something like the 1620? Like, did it get to the point where you were just nailing it in practice?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, so I invented that trick in 2019. So it was the year after the Olympics. And I was like, okay, I could either go to triple corks. Our sport, I could try and take the sport in the direction of triple corks, which is 3 flips, or I could take the sport in the direction of 1620s. And I chose the 16s. I just thought that it was not the time to go to triple corks yet, and that I would take it down the avenue of 16s. And so I started working on that in March of 2019, and then April 2019 did the first one to the left. So we have a natural and unnatural way of spinning and skiing, and my natural way was left. And so I did that one first, and then since when I landed the first one to the left, since that moment, for the next year and a half, I started working on the one to the right. And then, so by the time that I was doing the right one on snow, I'd perfected the left one. Or not perfected, but my success rate was high on the left one.
How high? Like 80%?
Yeah, 80%. Yeah. Depending on the conditions and depending on the half-pipe. But I would, do them in as many different conditions as I could and as many half-pipes as I could. And it would be at about 80 or 90% success. And then, through working on the airbag, that big vinyl cushion, I worked on my right one. And the right 1620 I did, a year and a half. So what would have been 2020, November of 2021. And it was actually funny about that because that year was COVID and no one could come to New Zealand. So there was no international people coming to New Zealand to train. And so I pretty much had like a private facility in New Zealand that, I wasn't posting about it on social media that I was working on this trick, or everyone knew I had the left one, but they didn't know I was working on the right one in the background. And so then when the Northern Hemisphere season started and it came time to rock up to X Games of 2021, the week prior we were at a training camp and everyone, the whole X Games competitive field was there, and I did a right 16, and everyone was like, what? Oh, like everyone was so taken back. They were like, oh my goodness, like we thought that he was just going to keep it at left, but he's actually gone and done the right. And by that, and then I don't know, and then I just ran with it and did them back to back, and it was a while before anyone else was doing them. Yeah.
That's fascinating. The whole doing it both sides thing. Is that a prerequisite? You have to be able to do it both sides.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
right.
No, it is. Well, it's not. You don't have to, but you need variety. Variety is one of our criteria in our sport for what you're judged on, and without spinning forwards left, forwards right, switch left, switch right. Backwards left, backwards right. Then you don't have that variety, and so it's you do have to spin all directions.
Can't imagine the work that goes. I mean, well, I can because you just told me how much.
Yeah.
But something basic I can do is like ride a skateboard and have my right foot planted on the skateboard and kick with my left board. Yeah. I don't know if I could do it the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's a simple task like that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like you do it so much. It's drilled into you from, like, spinning both ways is drilled into you from when you're young, and so it does sort of feel somewhat natural, but it definitely takes longer for that unnatural side to come. But yeah, it's like being able to write with both hands, or
Most people can't do that.
Yeah, no, and I guess it's just if you just do little bits here and there and you just tick away at it, then you will eventually be able to do it. And it's it's like if you were to write with your left hand and then write with your right hand from the age of like 9, you're probably going to be able to write equally.
Yeah, it's practice.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, although it seems like this crazy thing sitting here thinking about it now, it's like, well, actually, if you just chip away at it over a period of like 8 years, you're probably going to be able to do it, and so.
So how do you know you're ready to do the 16-20 thing at Olympic level?
Yeah, so there's filming and video review is a huge part of skiing and training, and I think it is in all sport. It's kind of like, I don't know how they did it back in the day when, like they didn't, when they wouldn't have cameras or anything. Like we have to have trust in our coach, but back then you would have to have an insane level of trust. And, so video review was huge, and it helped me see what I was doing, and we could film it and then talk about it and adjust. And you just do that over and over and over and over again. And so utilizing things like the airbag or like the trampoline to be able to get high repetition so you knew exactly how it felt, exactly where you were, was key. And filming those and understanding how it worked, and okay, maybe slightly moving your hip there or setting this 0.2 of a second earlier or later, or how it would affect the spin or going to the grab. And like there's all these different things that come together in order for it to work perfectly. And so, I guess it's just utilizing those facilities that we had to drill in repetition without having insane risk.
So by the time you get to the Olympics, you're not even thinking about any of that stuff. You're just doing it.
You are thinking about the thing that you're thinking about the most is the pop. So when we say pop, so a half pipe, you take off from the wall and you land in the wall. And if you don't get your pop right, your pop is how much you jump away from the wall. So if you don't get that right, or you're too early or too late, well, then you're going to end up on the deck, which is the flat part. And so that was like big no-no. Like you get seriously injured if you end up on the deck. And so the trick itself is so dialed, but the thing that's not is the pop. And that's because every half pipe is different and it changes every single day. It's cut by a human with a machine. It's a human operating machine, it's not like a robot or a laser cutting it. And so there is variation in the course. And I think that's the biggest thing that you're adjusting to on a day-to-day basis is that variation.
So the Olympics, looks like you're listening to music.
Yeah.
Were you listening to music, or were you listening to Country Calendar, the podcast?
I was listening to music, yeah.
What are you listening to?
Oh, what was I listening to? I was at the Olympics in 2020. The Olympics in 2018, I was listening to Who Shot You by Biggie Smalls. And the Olympics in 2022, I was listening to a punk rock track called Rage by, I think it's Blistar. It's a band of surfers. I don't know. Yeah, very specific. Sorry, it's just like, but I utilize music heaps. It really just helps me.
So you listening to this while you're doing your competition run? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, full noise, 2 headphones in. Yeah.
So you can hear the announcer saying, from New Zealand, Nico Porteous, or
a little bit, not really.
Right.
Yeah. I try and, I don't even hear my music. Like sometimes at the end of events, which is pretty bad, and sometimes I actually see the negative side of it now is that I'd actually get noise warnings on my phone because I was listening to music too loud, which is like, that's just stupid. Like, but I don't know. It's just what I was doing. I just slowly turned it up all day, and to the point that it was on full volume. And but in saying that, when you actually drop into something that you're nervous about, or an event run, or something like that, you just completely go in the zone, and you're completely in that flow state. And when you're in that flow state, you don't hear music, you don't hear anything, you're just so in tune with what's going on around you, and you're so focused on everything that if it's not important, like you're not thinking about it. It's not being, your brain isn't, I guess, I don't know. Yeah. registering it.
What were your nerves like those Olympics?
2022.
Yeah.
The nerves pre-event. Oh, ruthless.
Really worse than when you were 16?
And to be honest, I haven't talked about this at all. But something that really messed with me, and it's kind of like, I don't know, Zoe and I were always paired as like Zoe and Nico, Winter Olympic medals, that sort of thing, and in a way, like we're really good mates. But that Olympics was like a week prior, she won gold. And it was sort of like, okay, when she got her X Games medal, I got my X Games medal. When she got her Olympic medal, I got my Olympic medal. And it was like when we both won X Games, when she won X Games, I won X Games. And it was like everything had happened at the same time for us in terms of results in our careers. And a week before the Olympics, she won gold at the Olympics, you know? And so that was like, oh no, like now there's this pressure on us. Like it's Zoe and Nico, and Zoe's gone and achieved something amazing. And like, I'm so incredibly proud of her and stoked for her, and that's unbelievable what she's achieved. But at the same time, I'm like, oh no, like part of me is like, now I have to go and do this.
Yeah,
you know?
like, your move.
Yeah,
Nico.
exactly. It's like, okay, Zoe, and is Nico going to come join or not? You know, like, so yeah, that pressure really, really freaked me out, and it would keep me up. And at the end of it, I just shut off everything and kind of just let it happen. And yeah, I don't really know how I got through that. It was such a whirlwind of time. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that dream run. This is your first run in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about this before, how you didn't look at it as excited then as what you did 2 years earlier. And you explained because you had 2 more runs to do. But you got like 93 or whatever.
Yeah.
Out of 100.
Yeah.
So, I mean, surely you thought you had it in the bag at that point.
There was a slight inkling that I was going to do good, and I was sort of like, okay, there's a very high chance that I'm going to be on the podium here. It's just what position on the podium is that going to be? And I mean, when you're standing in a start gate for an event like that, and you just all or nothing. Like it's the same with X Games and the Olympics. It's like, I'm here in this moment. I've got an opportunity in front of me. I'm going to do everything that I can to take advantage of this opportunity. And if that means that, it's pretty unhealthy, but if that means I'm in the hospital at the end of the day, that's okay because I gave it my all. Wow. And if that means that I try as hard as I can, I don't end up in the hospital, but I don't achieve the result I wanted to, that's okay because I gave it my best and I tried my best. And if I do try my best and I do achieve that goal or that podium, then it's a win-win. But like before any of that comes, you have to give it your best, you know what I mean? And it's like sometimes there is time to be strategic, but there's times like the Olympics where kind of strategy just goes out the window.
Full sender.
Yeah, you're just like, well, everyone else is just trying their hardest and risking it for everything. So I'm going to do the same. And yeah, and
you were up against David Wise, who had won the previous 2 golds and was up for a 3-peat.
Yeah,
he ended up with silver. Bronze.
Yes, silver.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and that was
Yes,
I mean, that was pretty funny. I was standing on the Olympic podium with I think he's like 31, and Alex Ferreira was 29 at the time, and so yeah, they had a lot more experience than I had, and it was. I mean, yeah, grown up watching those 2, and so yeah, it was pretty cool.
And standing on that podium with the gold medal, the New Zealand anthem's playing. Yeah, what are you feeling then? Is it just like a sense? Is it elation or relief? Or
it's relief, it's relation, it's pride. Like you're wearing silver fern and Olympic rings on your chest and reps in your country, and I think that it's a different sort of like. It's a different sort of celebration in that moment, and I think how it's different from maybe other situations similar is that because it's every 4 years, those moments of hard work, those I guess more the bad times that well, maybe not bad, but the tough times that you've had in the past 4 years really come to mind, and you think, how proud you are to overcome those and to overcome those challenges and to be standing there knowing that you have achieved something and that you gave it your absolute everything, and that you have you've like I don't know, it worked. All that hard work paid off. All that sacrifice from everyone around you, not just yourself, has paid off. and it's like, yeah, it's incredible.
It's like everything clicks into place.
Yeah, and it's not like a put your hands up and jump up and down, celebrating, kicking and screaming. It's like, for me, it was just like stand there and just like, whoa, like, and be totally overcome with that, like, I guess, pride. Yeah, and being proud of yourself, and yeah, it's incredible.
Given the level of anxiety you experienced leading up to these things, afterwards, you just sleep well, or you just out partying?
No, you definitely sleep pretty well for the weeks following.
Finally, a good night's sleep.
Yeah, honestly, it was like that. There'd been like a couple months there of interrupted sleep, and so like to go after the Olympics, you just lay on the pillow at night and you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever sleep that good again. You know what I mean? You're content, and I think that's the best feeling, better than any other feeling, is being content, because it's not very often that we're content with what we're doing, and I think that's an opportunity where you can just fully be content and allow yourself to just be happy with that.
And so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
How long does that contentment and that sense of pride and well-being last for?
I don't think it ever goes away. Like it's something that will always stay within you and will always be a part of you. It's just you. Yeah, it's maybe it is who you are for 2 days, and then it's not who you are. You know, it's something that you've done and it's something that you've achieved, and it's something you can always be proud of, and you always have that feeling. But it's not who you are. You know, it's not. It doesn't make you the person. You know, it doesn't make me Nico. It like, you know, it's just something that I've achieved, and I'm proud of that, and that's that. Yeah, yeah.
If the bronze at 16 opened some doors, I'm guessing the gold at 20, doors were flying open.
Yeah, there was definitely some cool opportunities. The one in particular that stands out was actually a Red Bull opportunity that they put on a gold medal celebration for their athletes that had competed at the Olympics, and this was one of many doors that opened, and one of the experiences that I was very lucky to have after the Olympics. But they flew me out to the Monaco Grand Prix, which was pretty special, and flew into Austria, flew all the way from New Zealand, and in business class, and then private jet from Austria down to Monaco, and would it be Nice, and then Nice into, maybe not Nice, but somewhere in goodness, close to Monaco, then helicopter into Monaco, then boat into the harbour and onto the Red Bull barge and watch the race, and then do it all again at 5 o'clock when the race finishes, and you're back in Austria that night. It's like,
oh my god!
Yeah, and then it was that was one of those experiences that was just, there's something I'll never forget, and it was incredible. Like standing, we had our own like VIP booth at the top of the Red Bull Energy Station in the middle of Monaco, overlooking like the chicane. Like, and it was just like, whoa, crazy. Yeah.
Did you get to meet Max or
no, we didn't.
Christian or anyone?
No, we didn't get to meet the drivers. We were going to, but because of a few delays or rain delays or something that we couldn't. But yeah, I don't know. It was pretty special.
What an experience.
Yeah.
But they seem like a good company, Red Bull?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Do they?
They're amazing.
How does that relationship work? You don't have to answer this in details, but are you on a salary or?
Yeah, they do. They pay me a salary.
Yeah.
And they just support me in my ambition, I guess. And they're a company that if you go to them with ideas, and then if you're driven and motivated to make things happen, then they will do their best. As long as it's feasible to them, you know, they will do their best to make that happen. And that's pretty unique. Like you can like, sometimes it's crazy because you can go to them with any idea that you want, and if it's a good idea and they think it's a good idea and it's worth doing, well, then in a year's time you could find yourself doing that idea. It's like, whoa, you know, like, and having the platform to, like, you know, I don't want to turn this into an ad, but it's something that I truly believe in. Like, they're an incredible sponsor that, you know, give you from rehab facilities to supporting projects to just it's unbelievable to have something like them behind me.
Yeah, I don't want to turn into an ad either. But
yeah.
No, well, I mean, you didn't turn into an ad. I brought it up. I had do you know Brooke McDonald?
Yeah.
He's a Red Bull athlete, downhill mountain
legend.
biker. I had him on the podcast recently. He talked about an injury that he had overseas, and Red Bull with the first to cough up with some medical expenses and support and helped him get back on the bike again. You're still aligned with them even though you're not competing?
Yeah. And I mean, that just shows their character as a brand, is that someone can take a completely unexpected turn in their career and they still stay with them. When I told them that I wasn't going to be competing anymore, they could have just left. And, that was something that, in making that decision, I had to be open to that happening. But, they didn't, they stayed supporting me and they stayed, opening doors in other ways. Maybe it wasn't in the competition realm or going to performance camps or something like this. It's more, having a platform to be able to create video projects that, I can push through their channels and helping me learn about that side of things. And so, it is they just help me and they stuck with me throughout everything. So
that's wonderful. They deserve the flowers.
Yeah, they really do, and they're incredible, and they're more than just a can or an energy drink. They're actually like a brand that does things for sport, and it means a lot to us as athletes, which is pretty cool.
Those 2 medals that we've talked about at great length, where are they now?
Just in my undies drawer, eh? Yeah, they're just sitting at home. Yeah.
Skidded undies.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't keep the brown ones. They go in the bin. That would
Are
be...
they really? Why are they in a drawer?
I don't know.
Why aren't they framed? You've had a long time.
My Olympic certificate is framed, but my medals aren't. I don't know. Oh, because they're amazing and they're incredible, but I don't need to show them, the friends that come around to my house, they're friends not because I'm an Olympic gold medalist, or I'm an Olympic medalist. They're just friends with me because I'm me. And it's I don't need to, I don't need to flaunt that. If someone asks, they want to see it, then I'm more than happy to get it out and show it. But I'm not going to be someone that brings it out and shows it without someone asking or without, because at the end of the day, that means the world to me. And I don't want to let that define who I am. I want it to be a part of who I am and something that I'm proud of. But I'm not going to let it be who I am. Yeah.
The friends side of things. Yeah, have you found it interesting, in terms of knowing who to trust and who likes you for Nico the person and who likes you for the badass athlete?
I think there's everyone has that in everyday life, right? I'm sure you've experienced that as well. And but I'm so lucky that I've got the most real group of friends, and we're so tight knit and we're just so passionate about what we do. And a lot of the time that's skiing, and but then I think what makes it special is that we all ski and that we all bond over skiing, but it's not what we talk about 24/7. It's not, it's not. They're not defined by skiing. They're not. They're skiers, but it's not all they are. And I think that's what I really enjoy and it keeps it refreshing. Which is cool. Yeah.
The New Zealand New Year's Honours List in 2023. So you've got a New Zealand Order of Merit.
Yep.
Did you know much about royal titles? What was your?
No, I didn't. I just knew Sir and Dame. Yeah. And that was it. Yeah.
So you get an email or a letter?
Yeah, I got a letter and it had the crown on it, and I was like, I rocked up and I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, what's this? And it was, you've been rewarded after the Olympics. It was you've been rewarded the New Zealand Order of Merit, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's pretty crazy. That's one of those major doors that opens, and I was like, oh holy shit, this is crazy. And so that's. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to go and put on my driver's license NZMO or OM. It's not going to be.
Oh, it's your email sign-off though, isn't it?
No. Oh goodness. But yeah, it's like I'm not going to let it define me, but at the same time, it's something that's amazing, and I'm incredibly thankful and proud of it. You know, that someone, I don't know who nominated me, but I think from my understanding, it has to be a personal nomination, and so yeah, I guess a huge thank you to that person for nominating me, and what an incredible honour and opportunity. I guess it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And then, so after those Olympics, 2022, and the Halberg Award as well.
Yeah.
This is something that never happens, like a skier winning Sportsman of the Year.
Yeah, that was
Did you
special.
go to the ceremony or were you
I wasn't
overseas?
there. I think it was actually around the time of X Games. Or maybe I was overseas at the Red Bull training centre rehabbing my ACL. But it was accepted on behalf of me via my mum. And my mum was there, and I mean, she's just as worthy of giving the speech as I am. You know, she's been there through everything, and has seen it all unfold and helped it unfold in a huge way. And so, that's also something that's pretty special. Like, have that in the closet as well. And sometimes you look at it and you pick it up and, it's pretty heavy. And
Wait, in the closet?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
you get to keep the keep an award or a version of it.
It's kind of like, it looks like an Oscar. Like it's like
Right, it's a statue of
it's
Murray
amazing.
Halberg.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I don't know, that's like, that's incredible, that award, and it's something. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like, I mean, you don't really expect it, and it's. There's obviously an amazing group of athletes and people within New Zealand that are achieving lots of things on a year-to-year basis, and so to be chosen to have won that and to be the sports person of the year was incredible, or sportsman of the year.
Oh yeah, to do it in New Zealand where it is essentially a niche sport.
It's a super niche sport.
I think it was a couple of years before you when Israel Adesanya won it.
Yeah, I think it was the year before that I did, and he did that incredible speech and talking about tall poppy syndrome and that was. It was like, we're in a niche sport, like, you know, in a country that has so many amazing athletes and rugby players and race car drivers and, you know, fighters and like it just the level of talent within sport in New Zealand is incredible. And I mean, to win that is pretty cool.
Why is it in the closet?
Well,
what are you up to?
I don't know. Well, I'm 23, you know, like, okay. When I'm older, they probably will come out. And they probably will be there. But also at the same time, then they're amazing things, like, for me, you know, and for me and my family. And I think, at some point in time they will, like, whether I have them on display at some sort of a public space or, you know, because at the same time we are a government funded sport, and I was government funded throughout that whole process, and so having them on display in the public eye would be really, really cool, and it's something that I'd love to do. But for me personally, I don't need to wake up and walk into the kitchen or walk, you know, out of my bedroom and see these things. Like, I don't know, sometimes when it's not like I need to see that every day. Because that's something that has happened. It's not something that drives me to do what I do every day. It's just something that I understand that I put in the work and achieve those things, and now that they're there, I can continue to put in the work and move into the next thing, you know. And then they'll always be there. They're not going away, and that's what's special. Well,
they're yours for life. No one can take them away.
And sorry, just to add to that, I just realised they're in the gun safe now. well, because now that I'm retired, you see, I'm probably, you know, I'm not going to get another one. You know what I mean? And so there's zero chance of getting another one. So I'm like, oh goodness, if the house is on fire, I don't want them going anywhere. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But the medals are still.
No, everything's in. I just remember everything's in the gun safe.
Yeah, so what's in there? So the Halberg Award, the 2 Olympic medals.
Yeah, I don't know if I can guns. I don't really know what the talk is about guns, but they're in the gun. Yeah, 2 Olympic medals, the Halberg, and
Well, as long as there's room for the guns, it'd be terrible if you're like, no, all the awards are in the gun safe and the guns are in the wardrobe or the undie drawer.
Goodness, that would be wrong way around.
You mentioned Izzy's speech before about tall poppy. Yeah, what's your experience or thoughts on tall poppy?
Look, I don't to be honest, Dom, I don't really know much about it, and it's not something that I've ever come across.
Yeah. Cool.
And so I don't. Yeah, I've been. I mean, I've seen it and I hear it, and sometimes that moments like that really made me more aware of it, and made me more aware of. You're in the pub watching the rugby and someone, even myself, like sometimes you've had a couple beers and you go, oh, that's stupid, like why did he do that? Or you hear someone else say that. And it's like moments like that actually it changes the way that we think. And it goes, okay, this is something that is there and it's something that is happening. And if I can be aware enough to understand that when I am being someone that is doing it, because as Kiwis, it is in our blood and it is like so ingrained in our culture, tall poppy syndrome but if you can be aware and you can change that the time after, then I think that's a step forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's really going in the right direction. Yeah.
100%. Good insights. So after those Olympics where you won the gold in 2022, you hurt your knee by piggybacking a mate down a mountain.
Yeah, I did.
Were you clowning or was it
Oh, we were just skiing down at the end of the day, and one of the guys was off the side. He was living off the side of the run, and he went to get changed, and then we had a little bit of the run to go down, and I put him on my back and had a patch of ice, and I was doing chocolate cake. I was doing the wedge, the basics of basics.
Oh, you were skiing down the mountain.
Yeah, because he got changed at his house, and then they were coming to meet us, because we were going to go and have a beer after skiing at an après bar, and I had a patch of ice with him on my back, an 80-kilo guy, and my bottom ski slipped out and I fell over backwards, and that's if you know about ACLs, that's classic movement that blows them, and it's very common in skiing, and tore my ACL, and luckily it wasn't under impact or anything. It was just a perfect movement that just caused my ACL ligament to snap. Nothing else, no meniscus, no nothing. And so it was sort of the perfect scenario to do it. I guess, better of the bad cases to do it in. And it was already semi-torn at that point. And so to do it was sort of a relief. There was a question whether I was actually going to make it to the Olympics with my knee. And so doing it 2 weeks after was a bit of a relief. And then, I went into a pretty whirlwind of 9 months rehabbing an ACL. It was pretty incredible to go from the highest of high that you've ever felt, and then 2 weeks, a month later, you're in like, oh my goodness, I can't even walk, or I'm going into surgery tomorrow. And it's like, whoa.
Did that sort of forced pause? Is that where the seed was planted about retiring? Like it gave you like an insight into how life could look without skiing?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It was, and it was something that I sort of had the mentality going throughout, rehab of that injury was like I was so thankful and so grateful for that injury, to be honest, because it forced me to slow down and it forced me to reassess things and sort of look at things differently. It wasn't just full go from podium to podium, event to event, or loss and then podium, and then it wasn't just this like repetitive cycle. It was a forced stop to something, and that really changed my perspective on things. And so I think throughout that period, it did open up my eyes into different areas of life and different areas of skiing when I came back to the sport. But when I came back, I almost was like, oh, maybe I don't want to go back to competition. Maybe I just want to call it here. And this is another time where my brother, again, has been an incredible role model, and some incredible advice that he gave me was, you can't do that. Like, you can't have a major injury be the last thing or be the reason why you leave a sport. Like, go back, go and do it, and then I did, and got back onto the X Games podium, and then I was like, okay, I've got back to a certain point where I'm happy and I'm proud of, I came back from injury, I went through that, I got back to the level, and in some ways was better than I was previously. Then it came on that I was like, right, okay, this is actually clear that this is not something that really sparks me anymore, the competitive side of things.
Well, there's nothing for you to prove anyway. Like, there's nothing. It's entirely you. And it's kind of cool getting to do it on your own terms. Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's something that was pretty cool. Is that I had the opportunity to do it on my own terms. It wasn't because of injury. It wasn't because of any other factor other than the fact that was my decision and it's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like, I don't really know, but I think a lot of the times it's pretty gnarly and sad to watch some athletes carry on for so long, where it's sort of like, yeah, I don't know. It's not really my place to speak.
Yeah.
It's not really my place to speak.
I get it though. It's hard. Like if you've been really good at something and you're sort of defined about it, it can become, if you let it, part of your identity.
Yeah, and I think something that I've learned in the past year is that it's like it's way more a part of your identity than you think it is.
Yeah.
And going through, like, I couldn't imagine going through the periods of feeling as lost as I have in this past year when I'm like 30 or 32 and be, like trying to start a family in the next couple of years, or like trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a job as the rest of my life. Because at some point, you're not always going to earn money to ski. And that's something that you have to accept and it's something that you have to understand. And I can't imagine going through that, even 10 years on from now. It's like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah. I had this photo. It's a good relationship with your brother, right?
Yeah, wow.
Photo after you win your gold medal.
Yeah.
For anyone that's listening to this, not watching it, still on the slopes. I'm guessing it's immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that was straight after.
Yes, that's before the medal ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's you on your brother's shoulders.
Yeah.
And you're on his shoulders.
I'm on his shoulders
Kiwi
with
flag.
Kiwi flag on my back, and
A couple of Kiwis doing it.
Couple brothers. Yeah, I've actually got this photo framed at home. And it's something.
And the gun safe.
No, this one's out. This one's out on display. Because it's It'd be funny if it was, but no. This is this is one of my favorite photos that I've ever been. Ever like. Nah, fuck, that's cool.
Because I asked that question before about how he feels if there's a part of him that's jealous of your success, but that's just
you look at his emotion on his face, and it's like he is just so proud and is so stoked, and like he's got his little brother on top of him, That's incredible.
So much.
Like,
there's
it's
saying
incredible.
A picture says 1,000 words, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah. And I think that does say 1,000 words, and if you understand a little bit of the story, then But for me, it just, I don't know, it says more than 1,000. It says a whole book.
Yeah.
A whole lifetime. Yeah.
Is there ever going to be a book?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to shut off the idea, and I'm not going to say yes. I don't know.
How's your mental health been in general? Like we were talking about the anxiety earlier.
Look, I wouldn't say that I've had mental health issues, but I have gone through some highs and I have gone through some lows, and I've gone through some big lows, and that's like I come out of those lows, and I have people around me that help me come out of those lows, but they're normally when I go through those, it's because of something that has happened or
circumstantial.
Yeah, it's maybe because I have, like, it could be minor things like lack of sleep or like, or it could be nothing and I just feel terrible for 2 weeks. Like, yeah. I'd say that my mental health has been good. Yeah. And I'm lucky to say that. But there has been hard times and there has been some really, really difficult feelings. And just like, I don't know, there's some, for example, the lows are a feeling of no direction, a feeling of, anxiety is a huge thing. And, and I think nowadays something that really, really, really messes with me is social media. Like, it's like social media is such a big part of our job. And it's such a, as you know, it's such a huge part of athletes and what we do. And I think, social media, you're constantly being compared to someone else. Yeah. And that's not nice. It's nice when you're doing well and it's doing well, but when you get a bad comment or you don't get or you get, maybe it's not many likes as you wanted, or it's just constant like comparison, and yeah. So I think that really sometimes makes me feel horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You talked before about the about the external validation, and I suppose on a far smaller scale. This is what like kids around New Zealand,
but
actually
it's the
everyone
same.
around New Zealand's dealing with social media.
Yeah. And it's something that I've actually, like there was a period throughout this past year where I knew that I'd transitioned into the media side of things, but I hadn't announced it to anyone else. And when I made that step, I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform in the same ways that I was in the competitive side of skiing on social media and in the media side of things. And it really confuses me because social media is so out of your control. You can't measure how you feel or your success on something that you can't control. Like, you just have to be proud of what you've done. And like, I still, like I'm not good at that. I haven't mastered it by any means, but at least I'm aware of it and I know that it's there. And sometimes that does bring up mental challenges. I would say that I've had mental challenges but not mental health problems. Yeah.
Well, it seems like you've got a good network around you,
Yeah,
and also a good sense of self-awareness to know if your mental health's not where it should be, if there's a reason for it, like lack of sleep or lack of exercise,
or even too much alcohol, or there's like all these things that you just have to be honest with yourself. And I'm really lucky that I do have people around me that are honest with me in those ways, and they will tell me straight up if I'm, it could be like, you stayed up late 3 nights in a row, or you, like, I don't know, you're so focused on that, like you're so focused on social media, or you're so like, I don't know. I've got a really, really good circle of people around me that will, help me get through those challenges. Yeah.
Who's in your circle? Who's in your immediate
my
circle?
family? My brother, my mum, my dad.
Yeah.
And then I also have some really, really great friends that we openly talk about this sort of stuff, and that we can have this conversation together, and whether that's, out on a walk in the hills together, or whether it's up skiing on a chairlift, or we don't have any of those, I guess what would you say, like the stigma that everything's okay. Like, I have a really, really good group of friends that I'm extremely grateful for, that they understand that everything is not okay all the time, and they're not all okay all the time. And some will open up more than others, and some I'll open up to more than I will to others. But I feel as if I have a strong network of people around me that I can talk to about that stuff. And I'm very, very lucky to have that, because I know a lot of people don't.
So you're good at that vulnerability piece. Having those,
and I don't know.
It's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is super hard for a lot of people, and I see it in people around me. It's like being vulnerable is hard. Like, it's super hard. Like, it's like, it's I don't know. But I think if you can be selective on who you're vulnerable to, and if you trust those people, and then, you've known those people for a long time, then being vulnerable, I think, is like the sickest thing. Like, it's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Do you know Brené Brown? Are you familiar with that name?
I don't.
No. I wouldn't expect you to, but she's an author. She's done a podcast, but and she's like the queen of vulnerability.
Yeah, okay.
And she says the quote something like, vulnerability is the birthplace of like creativity, deeper relationships, and just everything good.
Yeah.
Nothing bad ever comes from it, but it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It is really hard, and it is. Yeah, it's just challenging. It's really challenging. It's like to speak your mind is one thing, and especially in nowadays, like, you feel like you're going to get scrutinized by anything that you say, and like, whether that's by your friends on social media, or, it's like it's there, and I think it's just about having those people around you that you trust, and that you do feel comfortable to say how you're feeling, whether that's how, like, regardless of how you think you should be feeling. Like, I guess how can I say this? Like, like, say for example, if you get something like an amazing thing happens in your life, but you're actually not feeling that good, it's like, well, like, be vulnerable about that, and to have people that you can be vulnerable about that, like, and I guess go against those expectations, the society expectations to, if you're in something good happens to you, and you're expected to be okay in a way, but you're kind of not, like, if you're not, then you're not, and that's okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
Fuck, you're impressive.
I don't know.
Mate, you're such a good... Do you think you're a role model? Do you see yourself as a role model?
No. No, I don't. I understand that times I am a role model, but I don't see myself as a role model.
You shouldn't be, but I think you are a good one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dom. And like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see myself as a role model, but I understand that I do have people looking up to me. And if I can somehow have a positive impact on their like life and their values, then that's awesome. Yeah. But at the same time, like I fuck up, you know, like
yeah, well, you're
like
human.
yeah, and sometimes I'm not a good role model, like and that's okay. Yeah, and like, you know, I have to tell myself that sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
Do you, when you fuck up, do you beat yourself up about it?
No.
You're hard on yourself?
No. Yeah, I am, but I'm also not. No, I am. Sorry, I am. I'm really hard on myself. And it takes me time to get over it. But yeah, I don't know. This is probably not a question for me. This is probably a question for people around me. You know what I mean? Because I can say all I want, but reality, so how I feel and the reality of how others look at me is going to be completely different. You know, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I've had Sir Steve Hansen on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he said something to me which stuck with me. I found it really interesting. It made me think a lot. He said, with most people, their biggest strength is also their biggest weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty bang on.
What's yours?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. Look, biggest strength.
For example, me, after Steve said it, I thought, it got me thinking about it. There's numerous things, but one of them for me is definitely like a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I like pleasing people, but also
Yeah.
it's probably my most toxic trait as well.
Yeah. My biggest strength. Yeah, how about I look at it, maybe if I try and look at it as a weakness, then I'll be able to, what's my biggest weakness? Yeah, this is actually how, it's overthinking and worrying. That's my biggest weakness, is overthinking things and worrying about what people think. But I think that's also my biggest strength, is thinking a lot about things and, just making sure that there's no, like, spontaneous, there's no everything has thought behind it and has deep thought, but then also that bites me in the ass. And so I think that's my strength and weakness. Yeah, and that's, it's pretty true.
Thanks for that. Shit, you've got an anxious mind, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I do. I'm a big worrier, and I'm big. I'm constantly think about what other people think, and that's something that I like. Man, I just wish it would go away sometimes, you know?
Are you a nail biter or anything, or no?
Nah, not a nail biter. I may look like it right now, but that's just from rock climbing.
Oh, no, they're good nails. They're good nails.
Yeah.
When was the last time you cried?
Oh, last time I cried, probably a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, are you an emotional guy, or not particularly?
I wear my heart on my sleeve. I wouldn't say that I'm an emotional person and that I can just cry on the spot at anything, but I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm definitely, my emotions, they're not hard to see. Like, you can sort of see them pretty easily. But I would say that, I would say I'm an emotional person for sure. Yeah,
It's a great quality. Don't lose it.
Yeah.
Through my 20s, I could probably tell you the amount of times I cried on like a hand, and it would have only been like funerals, like grandparents' funerals or something, and I sort of wore that as a badge of honour. But I'm leaning into it now. Like it's a wonderful emotion.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's like
you're not living a full life if you're not crying on a regular basis.
I think tears are they're a boiling point, whether that's happy or whether it's sad. And I think it's just a natural thing, you know, and sometimes you want to fight it and sometimes you don't want to fight it, and it's totally fine to not fight it and it's totally fine to fight it. You know, it's like,
100%.
Yeah, it's like this balance. It's like, again, it comes back to the the biggest thing that I was always taught is don't worry about being worried. It's like, don't cry about crying. You know what I mean? It's like totally okay to cry.
Yeah.
You know, but like, just don't stress out a bit. Like, it is such a good thing and it's such a natural thing, and it happens because for a reason, whether that's good or bad.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast the other week with Jimmy Carr, the comedian.
Oh, yeah. His laugh something else, eh?
He had an interesting quote which got me thinking. And I know mental health isn't as simple as this, but he said depression's basically thinking about something that's happened. Anxiety's thinking about something that is in the future. So the best place to be is in the present. Are you quite? I mean, when you're doing what you've done as a sport your entire life, like you have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
But are you good? Like in just day-to-day living and being in the moment, being in the present?
Ooh. I would say yes and no. I would also say, I don't know. It depends on the situation. Sometimes no. Sometimes I'm terrible. Sometimes I'm always looking forward to the future or thinking about the future, and that gives me a lot of anxiety. And sometimes I'm just really neutral. I would say more so often than not, I'm thinking in the future. And I think that's part of me that's been drilled into me from a young age is what's next. And, you
Growth
know,
mindset.
Yeah. And something that I've kind of grown up with. And, I would say that,
It's hard. Like, it's really hard. Like, I think for most people, you have to constantly remind yourself to try and be in the moment.
Yeah, you do. You really do. And it's so, like, you know, you open your phone and you're scrolling up and down and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, how can you be in the moment when you're looking at something that, you know, like, it's frustrating, you know? It's so frustrating. And I think that's why I really, and I think a lot of people take to sport. And I know that you're a runner. I don't know, you still running?
Yeah.
And I think, like, maybe running's not quite as much, but you get in the flow and you get in the moment and all of a sudden you're forced to be in the present. And that's what's so sick about sport is that it gives you an escape from that. Say if you're someone that's not very good at being in the present and you might find that as a work on or a challenge, well then sport is awesome because it gives you an outlet to be able to go and think about one thing for that long, you know, and for however long you do it. And I think that's something that's really helped me to stay present is to either go and play sport or do sport. Yeah.
Trail running is definitely one of those things. If I'm going for a long run on the roads, then my mind wanders. But
and it's kind of,
if you're running the route burn track or something, you need to look at every footstep.
Yeah, and then you're completely in the flow.
100%.
Yeah, you're having to really have that connection between your body and your mind, and it's like forcing you to it's like occupying your mind in a way. It's like something that I do when I'm competing is as I've got older, I've learned how to deal with that staying in the moment. And one of those things is that I'll just put headphones in and pace back and forward in my ski boots and reciting the lyrics to these songs. So it's something that is not making me think. It's something that's happening without like much thinking, but it's just a task that distracts my mind and forces me to stay present in what's happening at that moment. And I think that's something that I use when I go to sleep as well. Like, I don't know if you're what is it called? Headspace user or something, you know what I mean? But like, I use all these things when I'm going to sleep, right? And one of the things that they do is they make you count back from 10,000. And the first time you hear it, you're like, what the fuck? Why am I going to count back from 10,000 right now? Like, I'm trying to go to sleep. And it's because it's that little task. Same with sport, same with counting, same with doing this. It forces you to stay in the present without, like, you know, it doesn't consume your brain, but it just stops you from overthinking and thinking too much and keeps you present. And yeah, so it's having those little things. And but yeah, I would say that I'm not very good at being present and that I've learned to.
Yeah. Well, when you can recognise you're not good at something, that's when you can start working on it. Yeah. And be mindful about it and pull yourself in when you realise you're not doing it.
Yeah. And I think, it's hard. It is hard.
What about future goals? Where do you see yourself at 30, 35?
To be honest, I've been toying at the idea of studying architecture. So
that's the thing. Like, you are still so young.
I know.
Whatever you want to do, you can.
But it's also, that's the gnarly thing, is that like now I'm like sitting here in this position with, you know, had this competitive career and now moved into something else, but I'm not really sure what that else is. And so I kind of in recent time have just felt like a big weight off my shoulders because it feels like I have come to a decision of a path that I want to go. And like, look, I've got a lot of work to do to become an architect. Like that is so far down the track, but at least it gives me a long-term goal and something to work towards or something to go through day-to-day life with a goal. And whether that's studying a certain paper, it may not be anything to do with architecture, but I know that it's going to get me towards the end goal. And it's like, yeah, now that I have that there, feels like really, really good. Yeah. But short-term wise, I just want to ski hard out. And I just want to ski with my friends and film stuff and, enjoy it.
Just ski for joy.
Yeah, just ski for joy. And,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
it's
wonderful.
Cool.
Any regrets?
Nah, not that I can think of, to be honest. Not yet, at least. I don't know.
A hell of a life so far, mate.
Yeah, well, it has, Dom, to be honest. It has, and it's been incredible, and it's been something that I'm forever grateful for. And, I don't think I regret anything because at the end of the day, it's like it's made me who I am now. And, there's been times where I didn't like it, but I don't regret it. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a photo of a little boy here.
Another photo. What's this?
It's a little boy with yellow goggles on. I don't know, maybe 5 years old. Yeah.
Holy shit.
What?
Look who I got. So I don't know if I can say that. I got man boobs from a young age.
It's a hell of a ring.
Yeah, look at the motor on me as well.
What would you say to him?
Stay present.
You come back on the carbs.
He's in the present, eh? Like, he's not worrying about a thing. You know what I mean? Like, he's so in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't know, sometimes I struggle to get all deep and sentimental and stuff, but it's like, that's like the childhood thing, right? Is that you don't have, like, that person there doesn't have any worries on their mind at all. Like, apart from, my sandcastle's getting washed away by the tide. Yeah. Or, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Your
parents telling you to have an afternoon nap where you don't want to miss out on what's going on.
Yeah. Oh. And so it's like, I don't know. Keep doing what you're doing.
Are there 3 words that your family and friends would use to describe you? What would they say? Well, what would you like them to say?
What would I like them to say? I don't really know what they would say, and I can't answer that.
I like asking that question, though, because if you put some thought into it, you can sort of almost reverse engineer your life and live in a way where...
Goodness, it's a big question, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think the first one that I would probably say would be, like, just caring, like just a nice person, that encompasses a lot of things, like, being welcoming, being supportive, being, just like caring and like, I guess, not self-centered. Just thinking about others and being respectful of them. Yeah, I think so. So like the caring side of things, I would say respectful, and then I would say driven. Caring, respectful, and driven. And I think it's not just those 3 words. They encompass a whole big pool of some things, but. Yeah.
Interesting. Because we've been sitting here for just over 2 hours.
Yeah, goodness.
It's kind of the first time we've met. I would have said...
what would you say?
For you, kind, thoughtful, and driven, or a variation of driven. I was thinking that throughout this chat.
Yeah.
That's definitely what you're putting out in the world.
That's nice. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Nico Porteous, are you proud of yourself?
Yes, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you always been?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's times where you doubt it, but I have always been proud of myself. And there's been moments where I've, like, you fuck up and you're not going to be proud of yourself, or like you make mistakes and you're not going to be proud of yourself. But I would say sitting here today, right now, I'm proud of who I am, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
You're a great New Zealander.
Thank you very much.
I sent you a message saying, is there anything in particular that you wanted to take off? And you were like, no, I'm just keen to see where it goes.
Yeah. Because it's not, it's not very often that you get to just sit down and have almost 2.5 hour chat with someone. You know what I mean? Like, especially someone that's so, like, experienced in the world of interviewing and asking questions and being so in depth. It's like, sort of like, it feels like you're at a, like sitting down with a mate, and catching up for a long time, and something that you just, it's nice. Yeah, I sort of just wanted to trust the process a little bit and just see, like, where is this going to go? And what's going to happen and what's going to come out. And goodness.
Yeah, are you happy with how it's gone?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
very happy. I think this
cool.
is a great chat. And it's really
I'm
insightful.
stoked. Yeah, it's been really cool. It's been really cool. And so thank you for having me on. And yeah, it's been really, really, really nice.
Mate, I appreciate it. And I genuinely cannot wait to see what you do next.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not
Thanks,
even
Tom.
something we'll
might,
hear about in the public domain. You know, maybe I'll stumble across your name on an architecture website one day, or maybe not, and I'll be like, oh, fuck, that's Nico Porteous.
Yeah. And I guess that's something that I had to be willing, when I made the decision to leave competing, it's something I had to willing to accept. And yeah, I think if I just stay driven in what I'm doing, and then, yeah, who knows? Hopefully that will bring me joy.
Yeah. Oh, you're a great New Zealander, mate, and this has been
Tom.
wonderful. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.